Hey everyone, it's the Angry Honey Badger here today, coming to you with another build video. It is me playing as Lux today. I haven't played her too often lately, but this was probably right before the Dominion update came out. So yeah, I thought I'd show you some Lux footage and how I play her and how I build her. This build's going to be pretty standard for most casters. It's not really anything too special. In fact, I don't want to say everybody probably builds Lux fairly similar, but there's not really a ton of ways to build her. But thought I would at least, upload another video and have another, spotlight on a champion. So I thought I'd pick her because I have a couple games of her. So I'm going to show you actually both of them today. So in this first part of this game, I am going to be midding. Obviously, you can see against Malzahar. I know he can do sufficient damage to me, so I'm just going to be probably playing a little bit safe for the most part. So you're not going to see me poking too much, which is actually not a good idea on my part. I should be poking more because based off of the spells I take with Lux, I take Flash and Clarity. And I take Clarity specifically so when I do mid with her, I can poke them and keep, having my mana supply up. So that's at least the spells I like to take with her. You can take other spells if you want, obviously, but I like taking at least Clarity with me so I can spam abilities. As you can see, Malzahar has done some damage to me. I'm still just going to stay out here and play it safe because he's missing life too, so nobody's probably going to try anything too stupid. This game actually starts out way, 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 way too slowly. We don't do anything, and I blame myself there too mostly. I just was not playing very aggressive for some reason, probably because he does keep poking and it does, hurt. But what I do for Lux is I take her E ability first, which is her Lucent Singularity, which is that circle thing you always see out sitting there, and you can activate it or detonate it more like after any amount of time after you've cast it, or it'll automatically detonate after I think 5 seconds. So I take that for her first ability. Secondly, I will take the her stun, which is her Q. So I take that next. That's her light binding, and I like that ability. You gotta get used to it, obviously, and how it casts. When you cast it, it doesn't move at the fastest rate of speed, so you gotta be careful, and you have to sometimes lead your targets. So just something to look out with that. The next thing I usually take then at level 3 is I usually take that my E again. Or sometimes I will take her her barrier, her W. Sometimes I'll take that, but I usually don't take that till level 5 or 7. And then obviously get her ultimate at level 6, which is that awesome laser. And the fun thing about Lux, especially late game, is her ult is up. I think it's every 35 seconds, and that's without any cooldowns. So, yeah. As you can see there, he was doing some pretty good damage to me. I had a flash to get out just to be safe. So I went back, and as you can see, when I went back before, I bought a blasting wand, and that's going to be the first item I build. And depending on how the game is going, I'm either going to build the blasting wand towards a death cap immediately, or in this case, you can see that I'm actually building it towards a Rod of Ages. It's a pretty standard item to buy on most casters. So that's what I'm going to go for first, just to get me a little more survivability, more mana, and then obviously some AP over time. So that's the first item I'm really building towards. And I'm building her boots now too. Now if you're playing, I don't want to say support Lux, at least I kind of do a half support, half kill kind of Lux. Because you can kind of do both really. I take her cooldown boots usually for her, but Magic Pen boots would be just as good. So here I can see he's still low on health, and I got more than him. So I'm going to run in and stun him. And I'm just going to hit him up a little bit, and that's going to do it. I didn't have to ult him. As you can see, I didn't even have my ult up. But when people are that low, you can just hit them with a couple abilities, and you can kill them. And the reason for that is after you hit somebody with just normal abilities and you use your just standard attack, Lux's, her passive, it deals damage to enemies, or actually when you hit them with an ability for 6 seconds, they are what do they call it? They're illuminated and they have the light bind symbol, like she has it right now on her head as I'm escaping from her. Don't know how she didn't kill me, really. But all of your next attacks deal 20 to 190 bonus damage, depending upon your level. So if you hit him with that, why not try to get a couple more pokes on him if it's worth it to you, because you'll do extra bonus damage. So it's always something you always got to keep your eye out for. So after you do that, and you hit them with abilities, just go ahead and poke them. You're going to do damage. So I have my 1 kill. Not too much is going on this game. It's just mildly boring game, at least. I'm going to get ganked mildly by Poppy. And I'm going to just flash out of there and hit them with a stun just to, try to keep them away. Now Moo's going to come in here and we're going to fight a little bit since Moo is here, but Poppy's going to chase me off again. Which is stupid. I hate Poppy. She's a good champion. She can be fun to play too. She's really good in Dominion too, so anybody wants somebody who's good in Dominion, Poppy. So I went to alt Poppy there, but I got Aurelia behind her, which is something I'm going to take. So I'm still poking at Poppy, and she's going to barely get away from me, it looks like. So I'm going to just try to get Malzahar to not go towards Jhin. And I threw my E at him, which does also slow people. So whenever you're being chased away, it's always a good idea to turn and try to get either your Q or your E off to either slow them or stun them. Now, I don't know what Poppy was doing coming back into that fight, so all I had to do was hit her with one ability, and that killed her. So that was an interesting choice on her part, but I'm going to take a kill. I'm not going to ever argue somebody's stupidity. I do it sometimes too. I'm not perfect. Sometimes I'll run back into battle with no life, but for the most part, I try to play safe with Lux, and I always try to stay behind people on my team with her because she's fairly easy to kill. And since they did nerf her, it was probably already over half a year ago, I don't know, she's just not as much of a damage output person as she used to be. So a couple nice things they did change about her probably a month ago or a little over was her standard attack now actually is sped up when she actually just throws her little light things out. So that's nice. So you can actually hit people and you feel like you're doing more good. So you don't have to wait 8 years for it to travel across the screen. That always just felt annoying. So I see Amumu over here getting chased. And so I'm going to come help him. He's actually going to ult, so we're going to try to keep poking on her. I see Malzahar, so I'm going to actually leave him alone. He's going to scare me off a little bit because I don't have any mana, and his ult will do horrendous amounts of damage to me. I don't think that's actually a word, what I just said, but I'm going to see, and she's right behind her turret, so I'm actually just going to go poke her. And that's going to kill her. And that's something you have to be careful about with casters, obviously, with a little bit of range they have about stuff like that. If I was her, I probably would have ran back a bit more before I would have gone back, but once again, I'm not going to complain, so I'll take that kill. But yeah, this is, I'm just playing safe for the most part. I don't really have any deaths, and I don't have any assists, which makes me look like a KSer, but I'm going to help here, and we're going to get Poppy killed. There's an assist. And now Aurelia's coming through, but I already just used my stun. Now it's back up, so I can try it, but she's already out of the picture. I'm going to throw it in there, slow him down, because, it's always good, at least in my opinion, to always be using your abilities constantly with Lux. Whether or not it's to scare people, because whenever you throw out your stun, people always have to run around to try to dodge it, or throw out your E, and it'll just slow everybody if they're running through it. So it's great for not specifically starting a team fight, but it's good to slow them down if they're thinking about a team fight and your team's not really set up for anything. We're going to just run around here and try to do some more damage and try to maybe kill their tank. Not the best focusing. I'm going to ult again, and I'm going to hit Singe, and he's going to get, or not Singe, some of them, and get some assists here. I'm not going to get any kills, though. And we're going to run into this tower. Probably not the smartest idea with how much life it has. So I ended up killing Malzahar there again, which is nice. And I'm taking some tower, and now I'm going to try to go poke her, but it's not... I did hit her, but it didn't kill her. Now I get greedy, and Poppy's going to finish me off. So I do die, which does happen. And it does make me sad. But it doesn't really matter, because we just hit 20 minutes, and now they're surrendering. So I just played kind of safe in the middle, just kind of made it at least so their mid didn't get any kills, trying to feed off me, because obviously if I fed Malzahar would have been bad. So that's how I'm doing that for the most part. So now, on to the second game. I'm midding against... Katarina, and this game, this has some more fighting in it early. As you can see at level 1 and 2, we're poking each other a little bit more than that last game, since that was just a big boring start. But as for my rune pages, since I haven't talked about those yet, my rune pages I take for Lux, I like to take magic penetration marks, I like to take mana regeneration seals, flat cooldown, glyphs. Yeah, that's what I want to say, glyphs. I don't know why I had a stumble on the brain there. But yeah, cooldown glyphs, and then I take ability power. Ooh, see, almost dying there. Not fun. Anyways, she did a good job there of almost killing me, but there's almost in that sentence, so luckily I get away fine. I don't have enough money to really buy anything specific, so I'm just going to get my boots, wait a second, and buy a potion, so I can just stay in lane hopefully a little bit longer, and I'm going to head back mid. But as I was saying, cooldown glyphs and ability power quintessences, and that's pretty standard for her in my opinion. You could obviously change that up a little bit, but I think that's probably the best setup for her. Her abilities are not super quick on the cooldown standpoint. I'm gonna try to get ganked here by Poppy. Luckily I had just hit Katarina with a stun, so that kind of prevented the whole gank. So I kind of got lucky there, which was good. I'm just trying to hit Katarina and try to beat down her health, but she's got some health regen, so I'm having a little bit of an issue with keeping her low. But I'm gonna keep fighting at least, and in a second I think she's gonna come chase after me. Yeah, here she comes, I think. Yep. But that's what I take for my rune page setup, at least. She runs at me, and I stun her right away. I'm going to hit her once, I'm going to ult her, and then I'm just going to hit her again. And for the most part, yeah, she did the right call at trying to jump in and trying to spin to see if I'd run away, but she was just a little too late, and I'd already done the damage to her. So one thing you always probably want to try to do with Lux is, since your laser does have to charge for your ultimate, always try to hit them with the stun first, and then just go ahead and use your ult right away. It's always fun to obviously try to finish them off with the ult, but sometimes they'll dodge it last second. I'm pretty good at dodging most of the other people who play Lux. I like to dodge their ults. Really not that tough. I'm always trying to pay attention to it. But always just hit them with it while they're standing in that stun, and then try to finish them off with your Q. If you, or not your Q, sorry, your E if you can, because you can position that better while they're trying to run away if they are low, and just finish them off that way. Stun her again, I'm hitting her some more, getting the bonus damage. And another thing I always like to do with Lux is when they're standing around and I'm about to finish off their minions, always hit them with a stun, and your minions, once they're done killing the other minions, they'll start attacking her, so she'll just take tons of extra minion damage. She jumps in again to ult, but I'm deciding that I can kill her, so I just turn around and stun her. I did initially run for a second and realized I could win that, so once again she ulted and ignited me, and she got kind of close to killing me, but I think that was kind of her going out on a last whim, hoping she could kill me. But you can see at the beginning of this game, I'm building just about identically to how I did last game. I do start out with the Doran's Ring. I feel like that's a good item. Obviously at the beginning of the game you get the ability power, the health, and the mana regen, and I did take flash and clarity again, so I can spam my powers constantly. Another thing I like to do is keep beating them down in the lane. Oh, hold on, here's a gank. See, I planned for the stun there so I could get it off, and she did ult again, but it's no use for her. But like I was saying, another thing I like to do, since I do take clarity, is I like to use all my mana up and get them low, and then let them think that they're safe to stay in lane, since I don't have mana and they can say I don't have mana. Then I usually run back to my tower, hit clarity, run back up, try to stun them and ult them, and just get rid of them, because they don't know, well, it's not that they won't know where the mana came from, but they know that they thought they were safe and they weren't. So skipping ahead a little bit, since I've shown you a handful of Lux footage, and this is probably a mildly boring build video, but Lux is pretty simple to set up for the most part. I'm just kind of showing some gameplay of her. But this is a good beginner's guide. Nothing really too fancy in it or about it. So Mordekaiser got beat on there a little bit. I did stun Poppy. She ulted me. I don't know if that was a mistake or if that was something specific, but Mordekaiser's going to run away, which is interesting because it's Mord. So I'm going to run in here, and I'm going to try to do damage and throw a couple light things in here. I'm going to ult, get Brand out of the way. I hit Ash, and that kind of scared her off. Poppy's coming in here and finishing off Tryndamere. And now I don't know how or not or why, how I really get away here. And that's another reason why I do take Flash. And see, I just turned to hit my stun just to keep him away from me. So throwing all my stuff at him just to stay safe. But I don't know how 4 of them at one point were on screen and didn't do anything to me. But for the most part, that's how I build Lux. It's a pretty simple, basic build for her. But yeah, for the most part, if you guys have any questions or want to see more Lux footage or another build of her or something more in depth, let me know. But anyways, thanks for watching, guys. And suggest future videos you want to see. Check out other videos I have up. And I will just see you guys later. Thanks.